What are you, my good-looking stunt double?
I was about to ask you the same thing. Well, let's see who's who.
Hello guys and welcome to another MK Mobile character review, today featuring Stunt Double Johnny Cage. As usual guys, please note the date when this video has been recorded because a lot of things may have changed since then, and if you're not familiar with the matrix I'm using in order to evaluate characters, you can find it on the top right corner of the screen. So without any further ado, let's put Stunt Double Johnny Cage to the test. Stunt Double Johnny Cage, guys, was released, again, probably on the 4th of May 2015, because he was one of the original characters in the old store, one of the first characters in the old store, and his price was only 200 souls. This is mainly due to the fact that his stats are incredibly low. So let's take a more detailed look at them. His attack is only 27,594, which is the 54th highest in the game, and the 35th among the gold characters. The hit points, they are 54,528, the 55th highest in MK Mobile, and the 36th in the gold league. The toughness is again extremely low, only 25,704, the 44th highest overall, and the 27th among the gold characters. And the recovery is 24,948, which ranks 44th in the game, and 28th among the gold characters. The power generation is just 100%. So for his stats, Stunt Double Johnny Cage is going to get only 12.1 out of 28 possible points. Special one of Stunt Double Johnny Cage, guys, is surprise surprise, the good old cracker, and since I have reviewed this special attack multiple times, I am going to be as short as possible here. First of all, this ability can be completely blocked by the opponent, it has power drain as debuff, it cannot be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of only one mini hit, and it has the multiple tap circle as mini game. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the ability is only 10,471, which is the 67th highest in the game and the 42nd among all gold characters. The maximum damage is very low as well, 20,943, which ranks 72nd in Mortal Kombat Mobile and 47th among the gold characters. Once again, the special attack can be blocked by the opponent, it has power drain as debuff, it cannot be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of only one mini hit, and it has the multi-tap circle as minigame. So for his special one, Johnny Cage is going to get 8.6 out of 13 possible points. Special 2 of Stunt Double Johnny Cage, guys, is called Mimic, and here it is what you need to know about it. First of all, the ability can be completely blocked by the opponent. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any buff or debuff whatsoever. It can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 2 mini attacks, and it has the diagonal swipe as minigame. In my opinion, this is one of the hardest, or let's say the least convenient minigame in MK Mobile. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the ability is 26,179, which ranks 69th in the game and 39th among all gold cards. The maximum damage is 52,359, the 73rd highest in the game and the 41st among the gold characters. Once again, the special attack can be blocked by the opponent, it doesn't have any buff or debuff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 2 mini attacks, and it has a diagonal swipe as minigame. So for his special 2, Stunt Double Johnny Cage is going to get the disappointing 7.5 out of 19 possible points. The X-ray of Johnny Cage, guys, is called Casting Call, and as usual there are no surprises here, it looks exactly the same way like any other Johnny Cage's X-ray in the game. Now, what you need to know about this ability is that first it has strength as buff, which is not really the greatest for an X-ray, but it is what it is, and it can be cast from distance. Moreover, it can be cast after you tag Johnny Cage in, which is all that matters, to be honest. When it comes to damage, the damage of the X-ray is 63,878, which is the 82nd highest in the game and the 55th among the gold characters. Once again, the X-ray has strength as buff and it can be cast from distance. So for his X-ray, Johnny Cage is going to get 2.6 out of 4 possible points, and the total amount of points he's going to get for his Special attacks adds up to 18.8 out of 36 possible. The passive of Stunt Double Johnny Cage, guys, is called Stunt Double, and here it is what it does. I quote, "Stunt Double attacks on tagging, stunning the enemies." So, what do you think about this passive? First of all, it's incredibly useful, especially in the beginning of the game, especially against weak opponents, and when I say weak, I mean not maxed out diamond teams. This passive is pretty good against Assassin Jade, against Relentless Jason, any character that evades, because, you know, if stunned they cannot do that anymore. So in general, very useful passive. However, there are two problems with it. There are so many characters that have stun on tagging, but they have something extra, while Johnny doesn't. All he has is the stun on tagging. And second, the higher fusion he is and the stronger his opponents get, it is much more difficult to connect, guys. Not because you won't be able to tag him on time, because if you tag him not on time, the tagging attack will miss. But even if you succeed in tagging him in on time, then, you know, there are 10 million bazillion weapons, armors or accessories that give resistance to stun, and the chance that the enemy will resist the stun increases a lot. And that's the problem, because he's so squishy, and if whoever the opponent is resists the stun, Johnny Cage is in a lot of trouble, especially if this opponent is Jade or Jason or any others really strong diamond. So I'm going to give Stunt Double Johnny Cage 12 out of 20 possible points for his passive. He's just a Spec Ops character, so he gets 1 point for classes and 2 points for tagging attack. Okay guys, let's talk about the basic attacks of Stunt Double Johnny Cage. To be honest with you, because of the fact that his passive revolves around him tagging in and out more often, it will be a kind of an overkill to give him Block Breaker. Honestly, every time when I play him, I never give him Block Breaker, not because his basics are bad, but because I rely on the fact that every time when he tags in, he's going to stun the enemy, and then I'm going to have some time, you know, to punish him, so the Block Breaker isn't that required. However, when it comes to the basic attacks themselves, Stunt Double Johnny Cage have pretty fast punching speed. In fact, his recovery speed is also pretty great. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't really push opponents back if they're blocking, but this doesn't really matter because the fast punching speed and the fast recovery speed compensate perfectly for that. So in other words, even if the enemy is blocking, you can start another combo really fast before he's able to react and before he's able to punish you. So in general, once again, guys, Stunt Double Johnny Cage has pretty good basic attacks. He doesn't require Block Breaker because of the type of character he is. You have to tag him in, do special 1 or 2, and then tag him out and repeat the process. Make sure that you're going to utilize his passive. And this is the reason why he doesn't require Block Breakers, but apart from that, I would say that his basic attacks are pretty good, so he's going to get 7.7 out of 10 possible points. Okay guys, is Stunt Double Johnny Cage a good character? Let's take a look at the bigger picture. He has terrible stats. His special attacks are kind of okay. Actually, his special one is the Savior. If he had a worse special one, I would say that his special attacks suck as well. But still, his special one is pretty great. He has useful passive. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work well if you're facing maxed out diamonds, because they will often resist the stun. He has tagging attack around his passive, of course. And in general, his basics are pretty good. So what do I think of this character? To be honest, Stunt Double Johnny Cage is one of my favorite characters in the game. I really enjoy playing with him, and this is the reason why I'll be giving him 3 out of my 3 subjective points. Remember, the main reason why I decide to give certain points to characters is not based on how strong the character is, but rather on how much the character appeals to me. And in this particular case, I really like Stunt Double Johnny Cage, as I already mentioned. So with my subjective points, guys, he's going to score 57.6, and we can label him as a kind of good character. On our rankings, he is actually 71st, just below Piercing Melina and just above Kraken Reptile. So final verdict for Stunt Double Johnny Cage is going to be kind of good character. Under any circumstances, guys, you shouldn't be using Stunt Double Johnny Cage as your starter. First of all, he's extremely squishy, and second of all, in 95% of the cases, if the character in question has tag-in attack, he or she shouldn't be your starter. Once again, there are exceptions to this rule, but Johnny Cage is not one of them. So, with that said, let's take a look at the characters that he counters. He can be very good against Assassin Jade, against Relentless Jason, as long as they don't resist his stun tag-in, because if they do, then Stunt Double Johnny Cage is in a lot of trouble. Once again, he's pretty good against almost any characters, but he really counters those cards that rely on evasion, because as you know, guys, if they're stunned, they cannot evade, and he can power drain them, and so on and so on. And of course, he's kind of weak against characters that can resist his stun, as I already mentioned. So Combat Cap Sonya is probably the worst matchup for Stunt Double Johnny Cage, because if they're together with Johnny, Stunt Double Johnny Cage cannot stun either of them, and Combat Cap Sonya can always give him a red card, and you don't want this to happen like ever. Okay, guys, we go to the items now. Which is the best equipment for Stunt Double Johnny Cage? If you're using him as a support type of character, which will only tag in, stun, power drain, and then tag out, and you don't really care about the damage, then more or less you can give him any equipment. It doesn't matter. Like, any equipment will do, literally, because you are going to use him only to snare opponents, to stun opponents, and to power drain opponents. However, if you're using him as one of your main weapons, then he definitely requires the Rat Hammer. It is a must. So the Rat Hammer, Shao Kahn helmet, and for example Bloody Voodoo, that would be a good equipment on him. Once again, he doesn't require really block breakers because of the reasons I listed in his basic attack section. And another thing about Johnny Cage that is worth mentioning is that you have to spam his special one like all the time. You shouldn't be using his special 2 like at all. First of all, because his special one has debuff, you can snare, you can even power drain. Actually, vice versa, you can power drain and you can even snare if you have the weak point attacks talent. And second of all, because in his feats of strength, the more special ones you do, the better, the bigger your chance of having lethal blow. So at maximum level, you will increase your lethal blow chance by 8%, which is huge. Okay, guys, we got to the teams now. Which is the best team for Stunt Double Johnny Cage? In my opinion, he should be always put in a Spec Ops team. He is pretty great with Demolition Sonya, because he has pretty low stats. Demolition Sonya will boost his attack, which will make his tag-in pretty dangerous. In addition, you can team him up with 2 other Johnny Cages. It's a pretty fun team, full of power drain, snare, really great team. So yeah, the bottom line is, guys, team him up with any Spec Ops characters. Avoid putting him in a team with diamonds, because if you do that, then it will be very probable that the enemy team will be full of diamonds as well, and you don't want this to happen, because once again, Stunt Double Johnny Cage is really squishy. Okay, guys, Stunt Double Johnny Cage, what do you think of him? Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Please let me know in the comments. Once again, he scored 57.6 and we labeled him as a kind of good character. As usual, guys, if you want to see more reviews, you can find the playlist on the top right corner of the screen. And if you want to know which is the next on-demand review coming in next week, well, you just have to vote in the community section. See you next time, guys. Take care and stay safe.
Trick or treat, smell my feet.
Impressive.